Some things are just facts. The sky is blue. Bananas are actually berries. Octopuses have 3 hearts and cars are getting heavier, much heavier. All of this is true. Supercars used to be all about one thing, and that's weight. The lighter, the faster. But today, the fastest cars are heavier than ever. You'd think adding more weight would slow them down, but somehow, they still break 200, 300, even 400 miles per hour. Let me paint you a picture. The 2002 Honda NSX Type-R, one of the greatest driver's cars ever made, weighed 2,870 pounds. Fast forward to today, and the new NSX weighed 3,800 pounds. That's almost 1,000 pounds heavier. The E46 M3, 3,415 pounds. The current G80 M3, 3,840 pounds minimum. And that's if you skip literally every option. Even Mazda, the company that's been championing lightweight sports cars for decades, couldn't keep the MX-5 under 2,400 pounds in its latest generation. And look, I know what you're thinking, but modern cars are faster. And you're right. The new 911 GT3 RS laps the Nürburgring faster than cars that weighed way less from just 10 years ago. The new M3 would absolutely demolish the E46 on any track you put them on. But here's the thing. They're not faster because they're heavier. They're faster despite being heavier. And that's a crucial distinction we need to talk about. So let's start with the elephant in the room, safety regulations. Modern cars need to pass crash tests that didn't even exist 20 years ago. We're talking small overlap crashes, side pole impacts, roof crush tests, pedestrian impact standards. Every single one of these tests requires more structure, more reinforcement, more weight. The door beams in a modern car? They're basically submarine-grade steel. The A pillars, B pillars, the entire safety cell, it's all gotten thicker, stronger, and heavier. And that's before we even talk about airbags. A modern performance car doesn't have 2 airbags. It has 8, 10, sometimes 12 airbags. Front airbags, side airbags, curtain airbags, knee airbags. Each one needs a housing, a sensor, a deployment mechanism. That adds up. And here's where it gets tricky for manufacturers. You can't just make the safety structure out of carbon fiber to save weight, because carbon fiber is expensive as hell, and these safety structures need to be designed to crumple and absorb energy in very specific ways. The original Lotus Elise could get away with weighing 1,590 pounds because it basically said screw it to most modern safety equipment. And you know what? You can't legally sell a car like that anymore in most markets. But it's not just safety. Every piece of technology we demand in our cars adds weight. Touchscreens, they need housings, processors, wiring harnesses. That digital gauge cluster everyone loves? More weight than analog gauges. The adaptive suspension that makes your car comfortable on the street and track-ready at the push of a button? That system weighs about 80 pounds more than conventional dampers. And then there's the infotainment. Modern cars have 20, 30, sometimes 40 separate computers controlling everything from the engine to the automatic wipers. Each one of those ECUs has weight. The wiring harness alone in a modern BMW weighs over 100 pounds. You want heated and cooled seats? There goes another 50 pounds. Premium sound system? Add 30 more. Adaptive headlights? Another 20. And I'm not even talking about electric cars yet. We'll get there. But even in gas-powered performance cars, the electrical systems have exploded in complexity and weight. The E46 M3 had maybe 2 miles of wiring. The G80 M3 has over 4 miles. Just think about that for a second. Here's something most people don't realize. Emissions regulations have made cars heavier too. Modern catalytic converters are bigger and heavier than old ones because they need to clean up more emissions. Particulate filters for gasoline engines? More weight. The fuel systems need to run at higher pressures to atomize fuel better, which means heavier components. But the real weight killer is sound deadening. See, to meet noise regulations, especially in Europe, manufacturers have to add a ton of sound insulation. We're talking about the firewall, the floor, the doors, the roof. All of it gets layers of dense, heavy material to keep the car quiet. And I know what you're thinking. Can't they just not add that stuff to the track-focused versions? Well, yes and no. Because those cars still need to pass emissions and noise regulations to be street legal. BMW can strip out the sound system and the rear seats in the M4 CSL, but they can't remove all the sound deadening without failing regulations. This is why even hardcore track cars like the GT3 RS still have a surprising amount of insulation if you really dig into them. But there's another factor we need to talk about. Cars have just gotten bigger. The new 911 is wider, longer, and taller than the old 911. The new M3 is massive compared to the E46. Even the Miata, which Mazda has desperately tried to keep small, has grown with each generation. And this isn't just because manufacturers want to make bigger cars. A lot of it comes down to market demands and practicality. People want more interior space. They want bigger trunks. They want more headroom and legroom. But here's the physics problem. When you make a car bigger, you need bigger brakes to stop it. You need wider tires to grip. You need more structural rigidity to keep it from flexing. All of that adds weight, which means you need even bigger brakes, and it becomes this vicious cycle. The new Corvette Z06 is an incredible engineering achievement, but it's 3,650 pounds. The C5 Z06 from 2001, 3,115 pounds. And the C5 wasn't exactly a lightweight either. So here's the reality. We're probably never going back to truly lightweight performance cars. At least not in the traditional sense. The regulations aren't going to get looser. People aren't going to stop demanding technology and comfort. And manufacturers need to sell these cars in volume to justify building them, which means they can't be stripped-out race cars. What we're seeing instead is manufacturers using every trick in the book to manage weight. Carbon fiber body panels, aluminum suspension components, titanium exhaust systems. The new GT3 RS has magnesium wheels, carbon fiber seats, and they even drilled holes in the aluminum components to save grams. But all of that exotic stuff is expensive, which is why lightweight performance cars now cost six figures when they used to be attainable. The future of lightweight sports cars probably isn't in traditional sports cars at all. It's in things like the Ariel Atom or the Caterham 7. Cars that exist in regulatory loopholes and sacrifice everything for weight savings. For the rest of us, we're going to have to accept that our fast cars are going to be heavy. But at least they're still fast as hell. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment and let me know. Would you rather have a 2,500-pound car with no tech, or a 3,500-pound car with all the modern stuff? I'm curious where you all stand on this. I'll see you in the next one.